Hey everybody, today I am going to be reviewing The Running Man. This is directed by Edgar Wright. I admire Wright a lot as a director, and I think he stands out a lot more than a lot of the mainstream directors of his type, the way that he's able to create these colorful, kinetic, zippy fantasy worlds. He's just thrilling to me in unique ways, and there's not that much originality these days in the mainstream, so that's part of why I cherish him. And knowing that he was going to be reuniting with his writing partner from the magnificent Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, that made The Running Man, for me, one of the more anticipated films of the fall. So I went into this film with a lot of expectations, and as usual, that was a mistake. What is happening with these movies these days? Seriously. It's like the feeling that I get with this movie, with a lot of movies lately, it's like making a cake, a big, beautiful cake, but it's like we conveniently forgot the flour. It's like something very, very important is missing from a lot of these movies where, yes, it's like the pieces are on the board, all the talent is assembled, and yet the souffle never rises. There is no sense of immediacy, not that edge of your seat adrenaline rush that you want from a movie like this. There's no humor. None of it flourishes amidst all the calamity here. It is a double insult, in my opinion, that this is an Edgar Wright film, and it just makes me wonder what went wrong here, just because not only does nothing land from the action to the humor, but it's as if nothing really stirs your attention or gains any traction to begin with. Wright is obviously trying to make an adaptation of The Running Man, but he's trying to make one that's more faithful to the Stephen King novel. And after The Long Walk, which came out, I think a couple of months ago, it feels like we're in the thick of this dystopian resurgence. And naturally, these films are very Hunger Games-esque, and so they involve commentary on class structure and media control over its citizens, etc. So that means that this version of The Running Man is going to be quite different from the Arnold Schwarzenegger version, which is the quintessential kind of 1980s machismo, zeitgeisty fun. I would say this one, at least I think it's attempting a heavier tone, one that has that kind of brute force energy to it. I felt as if I was in a dream state watching this film, and I do not mean that in a good way. It's like the movie could never find its footing in reality. That's more how I mean it. It felt like it was caught between, these weird tones, this need to create a kind of violent, punchy, steely action thriller, but also trying to find, again, the humor in that, the rhythm, so it has that cheeky, breezy, flighty, comedic quality. It just wasn't working for me. And Glenn Powell, I admire the hard work and I admire that he really tries, but in this instance, he was a huge problem for me. And it's often been a problem for me, the way that, there's this attempt to bring him more to the forefront, make him more the leading man. The smugness in the demeanor, the inability to register real vulnerability on screen or true frenzy in the eyes, risk in the physicality. To me, that's part of what makes him feel like a one-dimensional protagonist in a movie like this, but he is the perfect antagonist, I would say. Or I think he can work as a leading man, but it's got to be in something that is more lighthearted, where it's like slapstick comedy is going to be more the defining attribute, like Anyone But You, as an example. I thought he worked well there. But while trying to adapt that leading action star type of swagger and charisma, to me it comes off as awkward and unconvincing from Powell. It's as if he rehearsed his action faces in the mirror, but maybe a little bit too much. And at this point, it's like he's psyching himself out. There's a little bit of like a half-assed Clint Eastwood impression going on here, with a little bit of the Tom Cruise comedy, the physicality, absolutely. A little bit of a Zoolander thing going on, but again, without finding the sweet spot within all of those tones. It's constantly like he's being jerked around between like this Hulk smash type of anger. It's almost like a caricature of an action hero. And then there's also this tone of trying to be funny and light and also like self-aware. And I don't know, there's just no convenient entry point. As I was watching it, it's like the lights are on, nobody is upstairs. It's like so much is going on in the movie, and yet I feel absolutely nothing. There's just a huge, huge disconnect. This is an action, like apocalyptic type of movie. So it's like you're thinking brisk, airtight should be the pacing style, but no, this had a ton of air pockets. And obviously there's a lot of conflicting, angles to it. You have the media angle and you have all these different eccentric characters coming in. Honestly, there were aspects of it that kind of reminded me of Cowboy Bebop, but with none of that natural swagger and ease. Nothing about this felt natural. It felt like second-rate Blade Runner, second-rate Die Hard. And the world building in this film, it's like you can see the ideas behind it, but it's ugly and drab, and there's almost an unfinished quality to it. And the action sequences, they are solid enough conceptually, I'd say, but it's incredible just how little tactile energy is behind this movie, all kinds of movies. It's like you don't feel the blast of a gun, or it's like you don't feel the viscera of a punch to the gut. It's very soft core, but it has this smugness about it as if it's not. So it makes the whole experience even more awkward to experience as an audience member. At a certain point, I considered taking a nap during this film just because it was so comfortable, but then I was like, oh yeah, I have to review this. Gotta stay awake, so yeah, obviously I don't recommend this film. I don't know what happened here. I love the action genre, and I do think these days it's almost as dead as the romantic comedy genre, but I did have hopes for this one, obviously because of the director and the talent attached to it. But yeah, it was a swing and a miss. I do think it's important to acknowledge the hard work that goes into certain things and not to completely dismiss everything about it, but I just think when the writing isn't there fundamentally, it makes the rest of the film hard to experience. It's like without a solid core, the branches that are attached just don't have a rhyme or reason. But yeah, that's how I feel about this. So that is the review. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to plug my website as always. It is deepfocuslens.com. I'm an artist. I do commission portraits, and I also sell prints of my work. If that's something that you're interested in, you can always go to the website below. And if you have a question about a commission or a print, you can always email me. My email is in the description box below. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to my patrons who are great. Guys, thank you so much for your support. Welcome to all the new members. If you are interested in supporting, the link for that is below, as well as the rest of my social media information. You can watch more videos here, and you can subscribe if you'd like. Catch you next time.